Hey, welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to continue with the Porsche 911 993 Turbo, and we're going to assemble the parts for the body and hopefully prime and shoot the paint and a clear coat. With this kit there's quite a few steps to be completed for the bodywork. Gluing on side skirts, filling the rear spoiler and any kind of sink dimples in the bodywork, and then finally sanding away the seam lines and making it all good, ready for the primer. Once the filling and sanding has been done, I'm going to engrave the shut lines a bit more just in case the paintwork later on floods them. For the front headlights there are some washers just below. These were moulded in, but I cut them out and will replace these by drilling a hole and using 1mm brass rod. For the body I just need to double check that the boot fits and the shut lines are clean. Now the body is done, we are preparing the side mirrors, the door handles on toothpicks so that we can hold these safely while spraying. So this polystyrene block is for all the other bits other than the body. For this kit I don't have a fancy body holder, so I'm going to use a heavy container and use some gaffer tape in order to mount the body on so that I can securely finish the paint. Okay, ready for paint, rubber gloves on. We start with the primer, and I'm using a Tamiya grey primer because the colour at the end is going to be quite dark, so it will be okay. At this point it's most important to cover all of the surface areas. Once those parts are finished we can move on to the body, carefully shooting the primer in the areas which are hidden, and then finish off the body and making sure that it is completely covered in primer from bottom to top. After the primer I noticed that there were some dust particles and hairs, and I quickly sanded these away. For this car I chose a period colour, Arena Red Pearl, which is an 84R. I shot the paint for the spoiler, the mirrors, the door handles, and then moved on to the body where I started shooting the paint for the hard to get to places. To start off with, I gave the body and the other parts a light coat in order for the paint to stick to the primer, and then maybe later on I give it a second and third coat if needed. Giving 10 to 15 minutes after the first coat, I gave the body a second coat to make sure the coverage was okay and solid. After another 10 to 15 minutes, I let the paint dry and I removed dust particles and smoothed off the second coat. After the second coat, I decided to wash the body so that I can remove the dust, especially from the panel lines, and then dry it off ready for the last colour coat. After the body had a bit of time to dry from the cleaning bath, I shot the last final coat of colour, making sure that it's nice and even all over the body and all the other parts. After half an hour of letting the colour dry, I mixed up some 2-pack clear coat ready to give it a light dust to start off with. Giving another 15 minutes to dry, the clear coat looked pretty good, but there's some orange peel in some areas. So I've given a heavier second coat to minimise the orange peel and make sure that all of the colour is covered with a nice clear coat. Carefully shoot the clear coat heavy enough to hide the orange peel, but not enough to have runs and drips. And there you go, 2 coats of clear and the body is completely sealed. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment below and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next week.